You're trapped between two wooden planks, force-fed milk and honey until your body revolts against you, swarmed by insects, eaten alive. For days, this isn't a horror movie. This is real history. Welcome to the nightmare called Scaphism. Originating in ancient Persia, Scaphism was designed not just to kill, but to utterly break a person's body and mind first. The process began with two boats, or sometimes the hollowed-out halves of a single boat. The condemned was stripped naked and placed inside. One half of the boat was laid on the bottom, the prisoner was strapped down, and then the second half was placed over them, like a coffin. Only their head, hands, and feet were left exposed. At first glance, it might seem almost merciful. After all, they were not immediately stabbed, crushed, or burned. But that illusion of mercy would quickly turn to horror. Next, the real torment began. The executioners force-fed the prisoner relentlessly. They were made to consume massive quantities of milk and honey. Far more than the human body could handle. The result? Severe diarrhea. Their bodily waste would quickly accumulate inside the confined boat, and then the honey was smeared all over their exposed flesh. Every inch of skin was covered, especially the eyes, mouth, and other sensitive areas. The boat was then floated into a stagnant, mosquito-ridden swamp, and their nature was given full control. Flies, gnats, ants, wasps, and worms were drawn to the smell of rotten honey. At first they bit and stung the exposed skin, but soon they began burrowing deeper, laying eggs in the flesh. Larvae hatched and began to eat the living body, bit by agonizing bit. Death by scaphism was not quick. Victims sometimes survived for days, even up to 2 weeks. They baked under the brutal sun, dehydrated, swollen with infection, driven mad by thirst, pain, and the endless swarm of insects. In time, their bodies would rot from within, even as they remained conscious. Eventually, infection, septic shock, or exposure would bring an end, to a death few could even imagine. Our knowledge of Scaphism comes primarily from Greek historians, like Plutarch. He describes the execution of a soldier named Mithridates, who had insulted the Persian king Artaxerxes II. He survived 17 days, struggling against the filth, the hunger, the stench, and the insects before death took him. But how accurate were these accounts? Some historians argue that the Greeks, often at odds with Persia, may have exaggerated the cruelty. Others believe that Scaphism was very real, that it reflected the brutal ingenuity of a world where cruelty was a political weapon. Scaphism stands today as a grim reminder, a symbol of what happens when punishment ceases to be about justice, and becomes about spectacle, terror, and control. Sometimes, the darkest corners of history are unfound in the wars we fought, but in the ways we chose to end a life. Thank you for watching. If you found this video fascinating or terrifying, don't forget to like, subscribe, and click that notification bell. We have many more journeys into the forgotten horrors of history coming soon. Stay curious and stay brave.